But this week we had a few things that we're just going to briefly touch on because they could be triggering. So if you are triggered, please accept our apologies. You can skip to the next part. All right. So ZZ Mills had an interview with a lady called Samantha, who was speaking about a young girl and how she was brought into the sex industry, and she talked about stuff like trafficking and all those type of things and abuse that she had to settle with. And also Tricky had on his podcast, he interviewed a woman called Alia Ali, which she runs an organization called Daddyless Daughters. Yeah. And I thought it would just be interesting to kind of touch on some of the themes that they spoke about, but also as people that have younger sisters, daughters, nieces, all of this kind of stuff, I thought it's very important for us to kind of at least just acknowledge the kind of conversation they were talking about.
You know what, Nate, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, I can watch a man's head get cut off and not flinch. I can see certain things that a lot of people can't see. And everyone's like, hey, what's wrong with you? You're weird. But when it comes to these type of topics, well, I tried to watch the ZZ Mills one, yeah. The first 3 minutes, I had to turn it off. I couldn't watch it. I don't know what it does to my soul, yeah, but it disgusts me so much that I can't watch it, because especially because she was you could tell she was like reminiscing and she was getting nervous, and you could hear the voice and she was reliving some of this. I was like, nah, my fingers. I don't know if anyone gets it, my fingers are getting weak, and I was so disgusted in this, because I think my imagination goes so far just to think a little girl being abused and being used in that way. It just disgusts me so much that I can't watch it. So to be honest with you, I get the gist of it, but yeah, and even but Tricky's one, yeah, I was able to watch that one more because she seemed a bit more stronger when she was talking about it. So I was able to listen to that one, but I couldn't pay full attention because again, it was just like these girls, man, they're getting abused, like, and it's like, how's this happening? And people are not talking about it. So yeah, so I let you man take control, man. But yeah.
Manipulation, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch the Tricky one, but I watched the ZC Mills ones, and I know what Kel was saying. You know, it hurts. Like in general, like watching it was like, wow. And now the fact that I've got a daughter, you know, it's as if it's thinking like this. You know, we know stuff like this happens, but because it's not in front of our face, we just get on with everyday lives. But when someone's literally explaining what they've been through, you're thinking, how is this even possible? Because I can't remember the girl's name on ZZ Mills' show, but she was saying, you know, Samantha,
yeah,
she come from a normal family, mum and dad loved her, etc. You know, and to a certain extent, she's probably a bit spoiled, but she just did her own thing with her friends who she thought was her friend at that time, and it just kind of just got her into things, and it went spiral out of control. And it's scary at a young age. I think it was from 15, 16, those ages there where you think, how can a kid go so left? You know, and I think when people see like a kid go left, oh, he hasn't got his dad, she hasn't got his lost, you're probably in some sort of orphanage or something of the sort. But this person had both parents there, like loving, and you think how it's so easy for someone to turn left and literally go over the way, and she's even so lucky to get out of that situation. There's many people, not just in this country, in different countries, who are still in that life and cannot get out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's their job to go and get people like them when they were that age to come into the business. It was a very, very deep. You know, very, very deep. It's again how people's mind work, and at the end of the day, it was just most of it is just down to money.
Yeah,
it's just down to money.
Yeah, it was very triggering, man. It's like, and it gives you a different perspective on just the whole adult industry in general, isn't it? Like, you know, you grow up thinking it's like, I suppose with a lot of guys or men or boys, it's like, yeah, this is just normal, and the way they kind of sexualize it and everything like that, and it's just like normal things. But when you actually look at what is happening there, and even the people that I guess really consent to doing it, or it's like, this is my profession, I'm a sex worker and whatnot, and that's their choice. Obviously, it's no like judgment at all or anything like that, but it's still kind of, I think it's not really their fault or anything, you know, like, you know, it's not because you dress a certain way, you do certain things. I think it's just when people see things like that, I guess predators, I should say, they just take advantage, don't they? It's like, well, because you do this now gives me the right to do that sort of thing. And it just makes you think to yourself, like, and then what she was saying about, it kind of almost seems like blame culture, but it's not. Like, she's just sort of saying, okay, if you're going to do certain things, you have to be aware of the realities of it as well, you know. And it's unfortunate that you have to think that, because people will just still take advantage, don't they? It's like you have to kind of protect yourself in that way.
Yeah, no, it was very triggering. I think the one with ZZ, I couldn't watch it in one sitting. It was quite hard to watch in one sitting. I had to like pause, like take a breath and all that kind of stuff with it. But I think, like when you said, Kel, like you could see she was reliving trauma, and she does this, like this is her now, her kind of thing. She goes out into schools or she goes out into community, she tells her story and stuff like that, yeah. And you can see, so there are parts of there you can see where she's reliving it, and she's really, really almost hurt. You can see the hurt in her. And then towards the end, when she starts talking about like how she's got a new relationship now and how much this person has helped her, yeah, you can see her, you start to see her smile, you start to see her kind of shoulders like relax a little bit, yeah. And like, so for that sense, you could see her journey and could see that actually there was light at the end of the tunnel, yeah. And it's a shame that you could think, like in your head you're like, but I don't understand this, what are you talking about? What, because man said Tutu's words, like, no, I'd stab him in his, you know, like you always have that thing where somebody gives you a scenario, you're like, I wouldn't have that, man, I'll stab him in his face, or I'll shoot him, man, I'll punch him. But none of us know what we'd do in that situation unless you're in that situation. And I think that's what happened. And I think the way he manipulated her, and he told her certain things like the Illuminati and we have this power, that power, all of that kind of stuff, it mind fucked her so much so that she started to believe this. Do you know what I mean? And it was for me, it made me look, and made me look at some of the females in my family, and just like, you know, little things like you just have to be aware or be observant of what's going on around you.
Yeah. And let's not even forget, it happens to boys as well. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, you know,
definitely.
It's, you know what? Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say it's the grooming culture. Like the difference is like where, for example, with this
culture.
one,
That's funny. The grooming culture. Imagine.
No, because but what? Okay, with this one, it is they groom them into working.
No,
in the sex industry. No, I know.
No,
what I'm saying, like they groom them into the sex industry. But where, for example, even Merv just said about the boys, there are some boys that they groom into that, but there were also boys that are groomed when they're going to chicken shop and they're groomed to be on road, or they're befriended by drug dealers. They're befriended by. So I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I know bare youths that have gone left, bruv. They're out here like doing hand to hands and shooting too dark, too light, and like, what's the matter with you, bruv? Go yards, bruv. Why are you riding up and down on your push bike like all hours of the night? Do you get me? And I understand certain people have got to live in all the rest of it, but you know, like it's about, I don't know, man. It's very, very disturbing that people would look at a child or a young person and want to use them in this way.
This is like a hot topic recently because on a timeline, I'm just seeing a lot of it, like where little clips of it. I saw like a podcast, and a girl was saying that how her uncle used to like groom her cousins. Do you know what I mean? And it'll be like he used to touch their breasts and be like, "Oh, look at your breasts there. Look at them. Oh, look, look, you're growing now." And even I saw another clip where like an uncle would be like, "Yeah, oh look at you. Yeah, it's my wife. This is my wife. Look at her. She's my wife." And like making the girl thinking it's normal to you know, he'd be hearing this and being touched in that way. So when he does go that extra step further, she'll be thinking, okay, it must be okay because he kind of bigs me up in front of my dad and my mum, and they don't say nothing, and he kind of touches me in inappropriate places, and no one really says that. So this must be all right as well. Do you know what I mean? So they start at early age, like I said, the grooming. This is what these sick people do from early to these little girls and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And boys. So it's like, bruv, those of us that got daughters, please, man. Even your family members, you don't know, bruv. Like, listen, man. Just be educate your daughters, man. Educate your daughters.
And also,
Let them know just give them the telltale signs of any sort of inappropriateness. Come and tell dad or whatever. Come and tell, yeah.
It's about opening those lines of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, 110%.
Yeah.
And the thing, sorry, Nate, go on.
No, I was gonna say, regardless, do you get me? I don't care if you feel you're out there, yeah, as a girl child. I feel like even if you're living that wild life, you need to be able to come and talk to me and tell me what's going on. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if I disagree with your actions, I'm never going to condemn you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I remember like people say stuff like, you know, like, my mom's going to kill me if I get pregnant. Your mom's not going to kill you. Like, that's her grandchild. She's not going to kill you, innit? That's ridiculous. Your mom's still going to love you, innit? But your mum be disappointed in you, but she'd rather know. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how I've always got to look at, like, even when I talk to my sisters and all the rest of it, that is how it's got to be. Do you get me? It's hard.
And I guess also as well, even just like, you know, not even just educate children, educate the from a young age, because, you know, some children will grow up to do these horrible things as adults. So you've got to educate, you've got to do that prevention as well. Stop them from doing it. Stop them from thinking that this is normal to treat, you know, people like this. Full stop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man.
And do you know what? We talk about this, and it's been going on for centuries.
Centuries, bro.
Centuries.
In all cultures and in all races.
Beginning of time.
The
beginning of time, bro. The beginning of time.
Yeah.
Man is man, woman is woman, but some of them are nasty, bro.
Yeah, man.
Do you get me? Like, it's like, even I think it was the Deadless Daughters. I can't remember which one it was, and they were talking about, like, even when people talk about stuff like, oh yeah, he's got a young ting, or he's got a little girlfriend, you know, like all of those kind of things. Like, and we always think of it, like I said, within men doing it to women, or young girls, but it also is big women doing it to young boys.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember there being a conversation, like, and like these big women like used to go like, oh rah, bro, your brother's cute, and like if your brother was a little older and all the rest of it, and then you get me, that gassed up my brother, you understand? That gassed up my brother. I'm like, I had to tell them, no, don't do that. My brother's a child, don't do that to him.
Exactly.
Like, because like what you think is an innocent comment can be misconstrued. All of a sudden my brother thinks he's the man.
But this is the thing as well, when the elders do it, the young girls, the uncles doing it, like, oh yeah, look at you, oh, you know, you're my wife, all that, you're beautiful, oh, look at you, look at your bum, that, all that kind of stuff, all touching. This is what they're doing, so that when they do go inappropriate, the girl's like, it's just more submissive, because it's like, okay, I respect this guy, I know this guy, he knows my family, here's my family, it should be okay. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to be aware. They have to be aware of these telltale signs, and parents as well. When you see a family member, or you see someone being over polite or over touchy feely with a child, just get in there straight away. Like, you know what I mean? And tell that person off in front of the child, like, so they know that that's a no.
Well, and do you know what it is? You're just thinking about it. Imagine how bad it was back in the day that they had to bring in a law. How much it happened, like to the extent that they're forced to bring in a law, you know, look in a book, this law number. You're thinking, raw, it must be a case where it was absolutely out of control.
Yeah, man.
Still is.
It still is.
Still is. More countries than others, but yeah, scary. But just make sure you're aware, man.
Yeah, but definitely, like I said, seek help if there are. I mean, I don't have necessarily the numbers of helplines or any of those kind of things to be able to give you here in the air, but do look after each other, and just be aware. I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't think we're necessarily of the right skill set to have that discussion. And I feel that that's a discussion that you need to have with somebody who's skilled to have that conversation.
I think it was a daddyless girl. She said that 1 in 4 girls are abused, right?
Yeah, something along them lines.
Yeah. one of 4 girls are abused. You know what I
And they
mean?
talk about the fact that most of the abusers they know. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. They know, yeah, they know them, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, just look out for the youngsters, young girls. Don't feel that you have to. Because it was fun. It was interesting because they spoke about the stuff like even with the world, like trying to take back this stuff like this sexualized behavior. Like they're trying to own this. I'm a bad bitch. All of this kind of stuff. All the rest of it. Yeah. And how that them even trying to reclaim it isn't actually helpful. Do you see what I'm saying? Because actually you're still putting these girls in promiscuous situations. You're still getting like all of those challenges we spoke about before, the busted challenge, this challenge. Don't get me wrong, as an adult, I scrolled the timeline. I was like, okay, cool. But anyone that looked like they was a bit, whoa, I skipped it, you get me? Because I'm thinking, I'm not trying to advocate or promote any of that foolishness, you get me? But it is that mindset as for the girls and for the boys, like you said, Merv, like what we watch, what we observe, what we look. Do you get me? Like all the things that we can look. That girl on Zizi spoke about the fact that she was on Babe Station as an underage, bruv. Underage on Babe Station and all of the kind of stuff they did. And you know what I mean? It was hella triggering. It was hella triggering. But I think it was, for me as well, it's important for Zizi to be able to have that kind of thing on her platform as well, because I think it was important for sometimes to people to be able to bring to a wider audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was Zizi Mills and Tricky's Deadliest Daughters.